All right. Okay, shalom, everyone. All right, let me see here. Uh-oh. I about knocked you guys all the way down. Let me tighten this up. There we go. Okay, my name is Brother Jimmy. As many of you already know, we're going to wait a few more minutes so we can get more people in. But I want to show you guys so far what I have here. So you're going to need a few things, okay? You're going to need yeast, all right? Active yeast. So you can screenshot that, even though it's backwards, but you're going to need this. In fact, let me flip the camera over. Hold on one second, you guys, so you guys can see it properly. Give me a second. All right. Let me open this up. I got to open up my slider. Okay. So you're going to want this. No, because it's going to be 40 minutes before we do the oven, baby. All right. You're going to want something similar to this, active yeast. That's the first thing. Shalom to all of you. And the yeast is going to look like this. Okay, that's the yeast. You're going to also want to get salt. And we're going to talk about the measurement of all of these ingredients. I'm using Himalayan pink salt. You're also going to want a kneading bowl, something like this. It doesn't have to be this, but something similar to this. Okay, you're going to want a measuring cup. All right, something that has 4 cups on it, because that's what I'm going to be using. Each loaf is going to require a minimum of 4 cups. You're going to need a pan like this to put it in once we get done with it. Now I have 2 different types of whole wheat. So we have this one here, King Arthur's whole wheat flour. And then we also have the gold medal, which is most of you guys probably have that in the stores where you live, whole wheat flour, okay? Now you can use sugar or you can use honey. We're going to be using honey instead of sugar to activate the yeast. And then thanks to our Cody Stella, I have this wonderful extra virgin olive oil. All right. And you can use whatever extra virgin olive oil you like. And then you're going to want measuring spoons. So this is a tablespoon, this tiny one here. This is teaspoon, half of a tablespoon, and a full tablespoon. Okay. And that's how I'm doing all my measurements. So with all that being said, let me show you what I have here on paper. This is for the whole wheat. 2 tablespoons of honey. Excuse the scratch out there. That's supposed to be 2 teaspoons. I had accidentally put tablespoon, but it's 2 teaspoons of yeast, 1 tablespoon of salt, 4 cups of whole wheat flour, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And that's it, okay? And then, of course, we're going to use water. You're going to have to use water. And the water, we're also going to measure that out. I believe it's a cup and a half. But you're going to want a certain consistency. So it's going to be up to you how thick you want your wheat bread or how thin you want your wheat bread. I kind of like mine thick. So, again, that's what you're going to want. If you want to take a screenshot of that and write it down later for yourself, please do so. And again, this is going to be for the Shabuat, also known as the Feast of Weeks, aka Pentecost in the Greek language, celebration unto Yahuwah. Okay, so let me flip this camera back around again. All right, let me put this back on its stand, put it out a little bit. Okay, so again, you said, please show again the small envelope. Sure. All right. It's going to be backwards, but let me bring it forward to myself here. And let me hold on one second, you all. Yesterday was an amazing Yom. Yes, it was. It was so beautiful. Flip the camera. Okay. There it is. If you can screenshot that. Okay. And should you need this, just DM me for those of you who might have missed this. And I will give you the same ingredients. And again, you can put whatever you want in it, but the main thing is going to be the flour. Okay, why the flour? Because the wheat flour is what we're asked to put in there. It doesn't call it wheat flour, but we know that's what it is because nobody was doing bleach flour back in those days. Yahuwah wants everything natural, and bleached flour is not natural. All right? Okay. Give me a second. Oh, yes, this is the yeast. This is the yeast. Now, they have different ones. You just want to go to your store. They're just like in these little packets. They come in like 3-packet kind of deal. I already used the other one before for last year. Make sure you check the date of expiration. And you're only going to use 1 packet. You're not going to use more than 1. Thank you, baby. And, all right. Let's see, what else? And it's not difficult. It really isn't. So if you can remember, it's going to be 40 minutes to let it sit or rest after you put all the ingredients together because you want it to rise. And then it's going to be, you're going to preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you're going to cook it for 40 minutes. So 444. 40 minutes, let it rest so that the yeast in the dough can rise, and then 400 degrees temperature to cook it in, and you're gonna cook it for 40 minutes. Very simple. All right. Hold on 1 second. I gotta go get my scripture. That's the only thing I forgot to get. All right.
And next, you're gonna go say shalom to the mishpacha.
All right. And this is just for entertainment purposes only. I am not in any way a master chef. Okay, so get that out of your head. I'm not a master chef. They're all saying shalom, Song.
Shalom.
Yes, Song's mom is outside. She's out there looking at the garden. Okay, so let me take you all and let you see what it says here in Wakwara, chapter 23. And let me bring this here, flip this again. And flip. All right. So let me show you guys. Okay, so notice it says here, and this is for Shabuat. It says, bring from your dwellings for a wave offering 2 loaves of bread, 2/10 of an ephah, which comes out to 8 cups of flour, okay, of fine flour. They are baked with leaven, first fruit to Yahuwah. So if there's going to be 2 loaves, that means each loaf is going to be 4 cups. Okay, if you got 8 cups divided by 2 is going to be 4, and 4 cups is per loaf. Okay, because 2/10 of an ephah, from what I've looked into, comes out to 8 cups. All right, 8 cups altogether. Actually, that was Song's mom that just did the sneezing. So Baruch you, mom. Could you buy what? What do you want to buy, Caillou? Shalom, shalom, everyone. Yes, Baruch you, mom. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this cooking class, shall we? Oh, the bread. Yeah, I guess you can go and buy your bread. Of course, it's always better to at least try it, you know, just try it before Yahuwah. Again, we're not in any way judging one another for the lack of understanding, because we wasn't raised in this kind of tradition and custom, right? So we're learning all of this. And so, excuse the sticker here on my old man reading glasses. But yeah, so we're learning here. So, and this is why I wanted to share this early, because it's about a week out, or it is a week out from today. Self-rising flour, I guess you could do that as well, which, you know, would already have the active ingredients in it. We're going to be using the yeast, so it would activate with the sugar, which in this case is going to be honey. And what else? Yeah, so with that being said, without further ado, let's get this going. Thank you, Nina. You're just being so kind there, Cody, Nina. All right, so let's do this. So let me put this to the side, and we are going to get started. All right. Okay, so we have our bowl, and we have our measuring cup. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure. Let me take off these old man glasses because I don't need it. Old man glasses.
The other one,
Which other one, dear?
less has less.
Oh, you want me to use the one that has less? Okay.
We can finish it.
So we can finish it up. You're smart, baby. You're so smart. Okay, so I'm going to be using, and again, everything is backwards from the way you're seeing it, but it is whole wheat flour by King Arthur. All right, so I'm going to pour this in here. And remember, each loaf of bread is you're going to need 4 cups worth of wheat. Okay, so I am going to pour this in until it gets to about 4 cups, which is right about there. That's it. I'm about a cup short. Let's see if that does it. Just a little short again. All right, so we got 4 cups right there. Okay, 4 cups. Pour it into the bowl. Bam. That's a done deal. All right, so we're gonna do that now. The next thing is now we're gonna get the liquid part together. And so what we're gonna want is, remember, it talked about right here, those of you who had screenshotted this earlier. So we're gonna wanna do 2 teaspoons of yeast, which I already have assembled here, as you can see. Okay, that's the yeast. And then I have 1 teaspoon of salt. All right, so I am going to now, let me put my tripod back down. I'm gonna throw it into my mix cup here. Put both of them together. All right. And we're going to also add, now I'm gonna go get water. I'll be right back. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, as far as the water, you want the water to be lukewarm. Not hot, but you don't want it to be cold, all right? You want it to be between, from what I've seen, it says around 105 to 110 degrees, but I'm not really gonna go by that. I'm just gonna go by feel, okay? So, yeast, where from? Get it from your store. You just purchase it. It comes in packets like this. Just go down the what do they call that?
Baking aisle.
The baking aisle. Yes, that's the aisle I'm talking about. The baking aisle, right?
Aisle.
You want to go to the baking aisle and you want to get some active yeast. Okay, make sure you check the expiration date, because sometimes they'll try to sell some stuff that's old and it's not going to be active. But you want the active yeast. Okay, so let me go get this cup. So I'm going to put in a cup of water, 1.5 cups of water in here, and then we're going to mix it up. We want to activate the yeast when I put in the honey, and you're going to want to let that sit for about 10 minutes to let it start to foam. It's going to foam up a little bit. So here I go. All right, I guess I could bring you guys with me here so you guys can see everything I'm doing. Okay, so I am going to come here to, let me flip this over. Uh-oh. I almost got rid of the live. Okay, here we go. All right, so let me first start the water. Let's let it warm. Oh, it's got to be warm, baby. That's too hot. Yeah, but I can add hot water and cold water. But this is for entertainment purposes only here. Yeah. It's still going to taste it. It's going to be tasty. Okay. Still waiting for it to get hot. Yep, because we want it to be warm. Give it a second. Okay, here it comes. I didn't want to turn it full blast because then you guys can't hear me. Okay. Alright, so now let me adjust it. Let me bring it down a little bit. Make it a little warmer. Yeah, that feels about 100 degrees. Yeah, I think that's what we want. Okay. Let me grab this. Let me slow that down so I don't go past what I need here. All right. Yeah, perfect. Okay. We're gonna want 1.5 cups. It's getting there, it's getting there. 1.5. And voila. All right. Let me go and shut that down. Okay, let's bring it back over here to our cooking station. Okay. Now that we have that, now we're going to activate the yeast. Okay, let me flip this camera again. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay. Let me see if I can bring it down because you guys don't need to see me. You guys need to see what I'm doing. All right, here we go. In fact, let me see if I can bring it down a little bit more. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take honey, as you can see here. Okay, again, it is backwards. But I'm just getting some natural honey here. All right. And we're going to want 2 tablespoons of honey. So let me grab my 2 tablespoon or my tablespoon measuring, what would you call that? Measuring spoon? Yes. And we're gonna drop that in there like so. Okay. And I can already see the yeast is activating already. Starting to bubble up. Let me put another one in here. All right. Okay. I'm gonna put that in there and stir it up. All right. Let's see. Now, once I get a lot of this, and the nice thing about the warm water, it's gonna help with the honey coming off of the spoon as well. So it's actually coming off a lot easier. And so we're gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes. Okay. Let me go ahead and, yep, that's about off of there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that is done. Let me go ahead and wipe off this little bit of honey that I got on the outside here. And then replace the top back on here. Tighten that up nice and tight. Okay. And so what you're gonna see
You're out of the kitchen, baby.
is that this is going to start bubbling up, because if you have active yeast and it's still what's that word that they used? If it's active, if it's still alive, if the yeast is a live organism, it should start bubbling. Okay, so we're gonna let it do its thing. In 10 minutes, we're going to dump it into this kneading bowl, and then we're gonna start the process. So like, remember what I was saying? Yes, thank you, Cody Stella. Fermentation, that is the word. You see, I told you I'm not a master chef. I am a novice at this. Okay, so if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? If I can do it, you can do it. So let me show you guys again. Really, dear. You can see the activation of the fermentation process. You see those little white bubbles, not these bubbles over here, but those over there. That's the yeast. That means that the yeast is active. It's still great. It's still alive. Okay. So again, and yes, I used honey instead of sugar. 2 teaspoons of yeast. 2 teaspoons, not tablespoons, but 2 teaspoons. You didn't write how much water. The water is 1.5 cups. 1.5 cups for 4 cups of whole wheat. Okay, that's per loaf. Yes. And you might have to add more water depending on how the consistency is. But we'll see here in a minute as we get going. What we don't want is it to be too liquidy. You don't want it to be like pancakey syrup. You don't want it like that. You want this stuff to be like dough. Like when you used to play with clay, you want it to be kind of clay like that. Not as thick as clay, but you want it thick like that. Okay? Like cookie dough. 1 packet is about 2 teaspoons. Yeah, well, let me see. The one that I have here, which is a little bigger than that, is 3. Let me see here. This one, let me tell you what it says. Let me put on my old man glasses because I'm squinting. I is squinting. Hold on 1 second. Yes, you want 1.5 cups of warm water per 4 cups of wheat flour. Exactly. Thank you, CQ. You should be over here doing this with me, sis. Cody. Okay. So serving size. So there's 24 servings per container in these. And per serving size, according to what they're talking about here, is 1/4 of a teaspoon. Now, again, I used, 2 teaspoons. Okay? 2 teaspoons of this. 1 packet is approximately 2.25 teaspoons. Yeah, so you're pretty close. I don't know which Cody said that, but Nina, I think it was Nina, right, Nina? Yeah, so it's just a little over 2 teaspoons. And I still got some left in here. Okay, I didn't use all of it. But yeah, you can see the yeast is working. Let me show you guys what it looks like now. And it's only been, maybe 3 minutes or so since the last time I showed you guys, and you can see how it is bubbling. Okay, so it's activating. It is fermenting. All right. Yeah, like I said, for me, if you're going to do, because we are going to do 2. Thank you for that, Michelle. We are told and required to do per instruction 2 loaves, and each loaf is going to be about 4 cups of wheat. Okay, according to our imperial standards. Since we don't use the metric standard, we use the imperial here, living in the great old United Snakes of America. So 4 cups. What are the 3/4? So the 3/4 is you're going to, once I put this together with the dry, which is the wheat, and the salt, which I haven't put in there yet, which I'm about to. Or no, I did do that. I put the salt and the yeast together and the honey together in the liquid, and then we're going to pour this with the wheat, and then once we get all that together, yes, I'm still going to put oil, and I'm going to put all that together, and then I'm going to let it sit for 40 minutes. 40 minutes. I'm going to use your Cody Stella, your extra virgin olive oil that you gave me. Yes, I'm going to put that in here too, and we're going to put it all together. And that's going to sit for 40 minutes after I knead it, because you want it to rise before you put it into the oven. And you're going to want to preheat your oven. You're going to want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Okay. Now, every oven is going to be different. And then again, wherever you live too is going to dictate how long it's going to take for your bread to finish. Here in the desert Southwest where I live, because it's dry and it's not that humid, I can pretty much do it at what I'm talking about, 40 minutes, cooking at 400 degrees, and it should be done. If you live in a colder climate with more humidity, it's going to be different. How? I don't know. So that's going to be up to you and just kind of looking at it. Do we have to prepare one loaf at a time, or do we both in single? So I would do both, but I'm just making one so you guys can see how it's done. I don't want to make 2 batches today just to make 2 batches. I just want to do one so you guys can see how it's done, okay? And let me see, what time is it now? We got about another 3 minutes, and then we're gonna put them together, and and then we'll just go from there. And so for the 40 minutes that we will be waiting, I guess we can read some scripture while we're waiting for the 40 minutes for the dough to rise. And probably just before I'm about to put it in of that 40 minutes, I'm gonna wait probably like 5 minutes till, and go ahead and preheat the oven to 400 so it'll be ready by the time the 5 minutes is over. And then boy, the house is going to be nice and hot today, huh, baby?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's
You
like...
can't cook it outside? It's already like 100 degrees out there.
I know, right? And we have, we're supposed to be almost 100 degrees here in Vegas today. I think it's like 97, 98 degrees. So my AC is going to be kicking on today. I'm doing this for you, Mishpaka. Doing this for you all. So again, just to show you, if I can do it, you can do it, okay? And I am a novice at this. I don't do this other than for the high feast days.
Don't bake.
So yeah,
We
we don't really bake. We don't make
We just cook.
cookies and brownies and all that stuff, right? Okay, so extra virgin olive oil. And we're going to use 2 tablespoons of that. 2 tablespoons, okay? So I'm just waiting. Once we let this yeast do its thing. Wow, it's really foaming. Oh, yes, thank you for the mustache. You see, I can't get a mustache and a beard. I can't do a goatee. I got that Asian blood in me, and it's all speckled. This side I have less than this side, so, you know, it just looks horrible when I try to let my hair grow out on my face. So I'm jealous of you Akis that are able to do so. But I ain't able to. Yeehaw! Yes, thank you for that. Can I do it a day before? Well, the day before is going to be, Aki Louise, if you recall, it's going to be a Shabbat. So you can't do it the day before. You have to do it that day, okay? And we know we're not supposed to cook on Shabbat. So you have to do it on the day of. Yeah. So again, let me show you with the beaded calendar. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I haven't updated this one yet, so let me update it. Okay, let me show you guys. So beaded calendar, all right? And let me switch it this way so it'll look right to you guys. It'll look wrong to me, but here's the 3rd month. This is the Shabbat coming up. This yellow one here is Shabuat, or the Feast of Weeks, aka Pentecost. Okay, so this one, this is why what Aki Luis just asked me, Ya son, if he can do it the day before. We can't do it the day before because that is Shabbat, and we know we are not to cook on Shabbat or bake on Shabbat or to start a fire as far as cooking on Shabbat. So we have to do it on the day, and that day is Shabuat, which is the very next day. Okay. All right. Let me see here. I have a. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Oh, no worries, sis. We can do without. Without. Okay. That it's my sister. She's coming over later tonight. Okay, Miss, please don't forget to buy your ingredients before Shabbat. Exactly, Cody Stella. Great info there. Do not do anything on Shabbat. Still keep the Shabbat. You got all these days before Shabbat. Get these little ingredients. I am the one Cody. I can't remember who it was. Cody, if you remember who you are, please DM me, and we will take care of you. Aquaba, have we sent your calendar beads yet? Aquaba, I have to check and see. I don't know. I'll have to look into it and then get back to you on that. 10-4 Florida, what is your question? Nice to see your face too, Cake Crush. What are the ingredients that I need?
Yeah.
Was it Jorah? I don't know. Was it Jorah CQ? Has anyone ever told you that you sound like the Reading Rainbow guy? I don't even know who the Reading Rainbow guy is, but is that a compliment, or is I don't know how to take that, but thank you either way.
Yeah.
So do we double your recipe as you're doing? Let me see, this stuff is coming in so fast. Hold on one second. Teach us, hey, do we use the baking soda? You don't have to use the baking soda, but you can. That is another way of making it, but we are not using baking soda. I've been reading a lot, and when I read 1 Timothy 5, I'm having a lot of problems with it. Okay, we'll get to that here in a second, 10-4, once we get done. It's a compliment. Okay, thank you, Travis. What are the ingredients that I need and when? Okay, I'll show that again, but right now we're gonna go to the next thing, okay? Let's do that. All right, so let me show you guys where we're at right now. So you can see that the whole thing is now bubbled up, okay? That is letting you know that the yeast has fermented, or is still in the fermenting process because of the honey. The honey activated it. So now I am going to use the extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to take my measuring spoon, tablespoon, and I am going to add it to our flour. I know you guys can't see this. Let me see if I can bring this over so you can see what I'm doing here. Bring this down a little bit. Here we go. Bring it down a little more. There we go. All right. So I already put one in there. I'm going to do another one. All right. Now I'm going to add this, our wet liquid. Isn't liquid always wet? Of course it is. Pour it in here. Ah, yes.
Swirl it around.
Yes, I'm going to swirl it. You talking about what I have in here? Can I get just a little bit of warm water in there, dear? And while you do that, I'm going to start the kneading process. I want to make sure that I don't get it all over the place. Get all the dry stuff mixed with the wet stuff. Yes, dear. Can you go ahead and put that in there for me? See, my wife is the cook. I'm just the eater.
Oh wow.
She's the cooker and I'm the eater. Yes. And so you guys can see that the consistency is a little thick. So we're probably going to add some more water here in a minute. But let me get this out the way so I don't knock this over. All right, so I am going to keep kneading this. You want this stuff to come together. Okay. It already smells delicious, and I haven't even cooked it yet. Right? You can smell it?
Yes.
Yeah. I can smell it. All right. So I'm going to get a little more water here. Hold on one second, you guys. And where's the cup at?
I put it in the sink. Mommy wants to go to the store. So
Okay, dear.
I just go do that. Go change.
And what I'm doing, everyone, is I'm getting more warm water let this do its
You
thing.
probably need to knead it, baby.
I am. I gotta knead it, but I need a little more water.
I need this stuff.
Yeah. I need a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Now let's get more. Yes. Okay, let me just put this here. All right.
A little bit at a time.
So, yep, I'm only gonna do a little at a time. You don't want to overdo it. If you do, then you have to add more flour, so you can always fix it. Okay. But you don't want to, you want to make sure that it's like dough.
You want the light
All right.
on over there?
Yes, could you turn on the light on this side of the kitchen, dear?
Oh.
Nope, that's the wrong one. Lived in this house all these years, you still don't know, huh, baby?
Nope.
Okay, so now that I've done this, I am going to use my hands here in a minute. There's nothing better than to use the tools that Yahuwah's given you, which is your hands. Hold on, let me put a little bit more. Okay. All right. Okay, so now that you can see it's starting to clump together, and that's what you want. You want it to clump together. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all the way through and through. And you can see, if you look on YouTube, you'll see people that make wheat bread better than me, but you'll see them do the same thing. Okay, and they'll tell you, you don't have to knead it like crazy. You just need to make sure that it comes together. So now it's come together. And so I'm gonna put this off to the side. Hands are clean. Okay. And we just wanna knead it. Okay. Yeah, just like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, see how it just becomes one big old ball? That's what you want, okay? One big old ball. All right, now that it's a big old ball like this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna dump it onto my beautiful island. And let me dry this up here because I'm gonna put some actual wheat powder on here and we're gonna knead it. Okay. So you just take a little bit. Just wanna put some on here, okay. Spread it out a little bit. And the reason for this is so it doesn't stick to the island when I knead it on here. So we're gonna just dump it here. Okay. See how I got that there? And we just wanna kind of use that. Yeah, just like that. Okay, so you guys watching? Oh yeah, I got 94 of you guys in here. Where are your kids, Aki? I only have one, and she's out there running the street, calling herself being grown. And she's with her so-called man. She's not my real daughter, but I raised her like my real daughter. And she's not my actual child, but she's an atheist like her dad, and she's happy that she's an atheist, so she tells me. Okay, so now I'm gonna roll this like this. Okay, and I'm going to bring it together. Now that I have done all of this, I'm gonna let it sit, and what you're gonna wanna do, just give me a second here, as I'm gonna line this pan with some olive oil, okay? And so, as I line this pan with olive oil, I'm gonna put a little olive oil in here. I'm gonna take my little brush, and I'm just gonna put that in here like this. Do all the sides. Again, I am not a master chef. Entertainment purposes only. This is just so that it doesn't stick while it's cooking. Okay. Put it all on the sides there. Oh yeah, just like that. Nice and lathered. Doesn't have to be beautiful. Okay, and now that I have all of that done, I'm gonna take this. Let you guys see what I'm doing. Now I'm gonna just stick it in here. And what you're gonna wanna do is just flatten it out, and you're gonna allow it to sit in here for 40 minutes and let it rise. Once it gets to the top of the pan, you're gonna wanna start cooking it. All right, now 40 minutes is max, okay? Some say 30 minutes, and again, it just depends on where you live. And that's pretty much the finished product. Now, what you're gonna wanna do is cover it, so it kinda creates a humidity effect on the bread. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go get some saran wrap, and I'm just gonna gently put it over it. It can still breathe, but that's it, okay? And that's pretty much it. This is ready to go, okay? Not too bad for a novice. Let me go get my saran. I'll be right back. Let me rinse off my hands real quick. All right. And let me go get my saran wrap. Okay. Now, put my saran wrap on here gently, and we just let it sit. Okay. So it is now 1:44, and we'll let it sit here to the side as I clean up after myself, so my Asha does not get angry with me for making a mess in her kitchen. And that's it, Mishpaka. It's very simple. I mean, again, if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? Very simple. Very simple. Let's see. Someone says, I put olive oil on top before rising. Yeah, I think that makes it crispy too, doesn't it? All right. Okay, let me bring this back up. Let's see, I missed a whole bunch of stuff here, and there's those of you that know a whole lot better than I do. That's just one loaf, we need two. Exactly, Jacqueline, exactly. Rising differently according to altitude. Yep, that's so true. Can't wait to make it. Brother has a tattoo. Wow, would have never expected. Yeah, this is, I got it when I was 18 years old, when I was in martial arts. I called myself the Black Panther before the Black Panther was the Black Panther. So I have a Black Panther head on me. My nickname in martial arts was called Jimmy Jack Flash, because I was fast as a cat, as they would say. But that was my other heyday. Let's see, brush olive oil on top. Yes. I'm gonna try that. I've never actually done that, so I will do that. Okay. Let me come back to where we're all at. Yes, Wisdom, thank you for that. Okay, so yeah, this is the only tat I have. I don't have no other tats. This is it. And I think I want to get this removed. I think I'm gonna see my Cody Veronica, because she doesn't she do tattoo removal too, babe? Didn't she say she does tattoo removal?
Yes, she does.
So I think
She's
I'm
got
gonna
a
do that.
ginormous machine that does it.
Ginormous, not just a
Ginormous.
machine. She's got a ginormous machine.
Yes.
Okay. I will wash all of these so my shot doesn't have to.
I could do it.
No, it's fine.
What did you do? You made a mess over there.
I did exactly what we did. And you know how you put it on the island and you knead it and make it into a roll, remember?
Oh, yes, I remember.
Okay, okay, mommy. Okay.
Mama, don't go.
Okay. All right there. Sound like a plan, sound like a plan. All right. Okay, 1 minute, and then we're gonna get into a little bit of scripture conversation and questions, answering questions if I'm able to answer them. And we shall wait on this. Huh, babe? What'd you say, dear? You need anything, love? Huh, baby? You need anything?
No, my love.
Okay.
Please straight.
All right, baby. Sis has already hit me up. She said that roadkill was way too busy today.
Oh, it's okay.
That's what I told her. So we already have the beef links already. So told her we don't need it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, love.
Okay, baby. Love you.
Love you.
I hope none of you are celebrating this pagan day called Memorial Day.
Yes.
For the unaliving of a whole bunch of soldiers through all the major wars that this country has had.
You stay.
It's sad that we've had those that came before us, including my dad, my stepdad, that gave his life for this country, fighting their corporate wars and taking from the poor their sustenances and their minerals and everything else. I do appreciate those who have served us as a people, but I do not appreciate what this government has done to the people who are serving us. We see a whole bunch of them homeless today. They're out in these streets and they don't care for them. They want to act like they care for them, but they care more for the rich and wealthy and those who are prominent in high positions of power. And they don't seem to care about any of us. They act like they do until these men and women come home and they have all kinds of defects, mentally, PTSDs, and physically, missing limbs. All of that is just terrible. And I came so close. I see somebody say that your son is in the Air Force. I almost went into the Air Force myself. I was literally a year away from being appointed to go to the Air Force Academy at Colorado Springs to become an Air Force fighter pilot. So thankful that I did it. I wouldn't know what I know today. I wouldn't be here where I am today. Yahuwah gave me a different avenue to take. And I didn't see it. I didn't see it at that time, but I see it now. And so I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. But I also, anytime I do see someone in military garb, or even in a police uniform, of course, there's always rotten apples out there that wear the uniform. But for the most part, I try to respect them, pay their respects, or pay my respects to them for what they're doing. But there is many people who they just enter into the service or enter into the police force because of a paycheck. And some people because they look at it as a so-called glorified job position to brag and boast. And for those people, I don't show respect to them. But those that join because they want to serve and they're humble, those type of people, I give respects to. Okay, so let me grab my seat here and sit down with you all. And while we're waiting for this thing to rise, I can see it's already rising. Oh yeah, it is rising. Let me show you guys what it looks like so far. it's actually touching the saran wrap that I had on there earlier, or that I put on there earlier, I should say. So we're gonna give it a little moment. Okay. Michelle, you are a retired firefighter. See, that's another wonderful, selfless job where you're going out, putting your life on the line, running into these buildings, these homes to help each other. DJ, yes, I want to truly thank you guys, all of you, in whatever fashion or form, be it as a public servant or one who has served this country in the military, whatever branch of military. Pastor Jimmy, I am not a pastor. I'm just your brother. We're making wheat bread, showing how to make it for Shabuat that's coming up a week from today, so that you all may know how to do it yourself before Yahuwah. Because again, Yahuwah is the reason we are doing this. He told us to do this. I'm checking my, I am just checking all of this here. My text messages that are coming through. Aki Lewis said, put some olive oil on your hands. Why are they dry? I'm just joking. No, I hear you. It worked out pretty well, but thank you. Yes. I told you, Aki Louise, I'm a novice at baking, my friend, but if I can do it, you can do it. All right. How do we call the set apart spirit in Hebrew? Thank you for that question. Keen, it is Ruach HaKadash. Some people say Kodesh, but we know that in the Abrit or the Hebrew language, there is no E, so there's no Desh. It should be Dash, Kadash. Okay? Ruach, which is spirit. Ha means the. Kodesh, set apart. So set apart, the set apart spirit. Hold on one second. Let's see here. Jeannie said that. Okay, thank you, Jeannie. Again, you know I am a novice at this. Thank you for teaching from the Word. I have learned a lot while listening. You're very welcome, the Rec. You're very welcome. I'm at work, but I'm trying to listen. Cody Taylin, nice to see you down there in Kingman, AZ. It would be my first homemade bread. Joanna, I did last year was my first time doing this. This is my second. Okay, so again, if I can do it, any of you guys can do it. Any of you guys can do it. It's not difficult. Okay, someone had asked me about 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 1, that it was giving you issues. Let's see here. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 5. Do you live in America? Yes, unfortunately, I do. Unfortunately, I do live in the United Snakes of America, and that's exactly what I mean when I say it. Yes, Gene, I will show you that. Okay, so this, and let me flip the camera over so you can see it. Hold on one second, you guys here. Let me flip this over. Flip the camera. Okay, so here it is. If you can take a screenshot. So what you're seeing there is whole bread. The only thing, let me write down here. Hold on one second. And 1.5 to 2 cups of warm water. Okay. All right. So, okay, there you go. So 2 tablespoons of honey, screenshot it. 2 teaspoons of yeast. 1 teaspoon, of salt. 4 cups of whole wheat flour. This is for 1 bread, okay? So you're gonna wanna double all of this up when you're doing 2 loaves, okay? And 2 tablespoons of olive oil or vegetable oil. If you can, please use virgin olive oil, extra virgin at that. And then 1.5 to 2 cups of warm water, depending on how much you need. You're not gonna need more than 2 cups. And if you do, just add some more flour because you want it to be very doughy, okay? And that's it. All right. Okay. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, so who was the person that needed clarification on 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 1? Nice to see you here, Cody Nazareth. Who was it that needed clarification on 1 Timothy chapter 5? What is required for us for Shabuat? Yes, Lloyd shall come. Yes, we do the feast. This is why I'm showing how to make whole wheat bread according to Leviticus chapter 23 for the feast of Shabuat, aka Feast of Weeks, also known as the Feast of Pentecost. I guess the person who was needing clarification for 1 Timothy left. Okay, Nildia. Should I say, because I'm so used to saying Nilda, so is it Nildia? Is that how is it being pronounced now? Or Nildia? Nildia? Is that how I say that, Cody? Okay, so someone says, but how can you do that when these feasts need to be done on correct day and in the land? Shall come. I've dealt with this before, and you answer to whatever, Nilda. Yeah. No, I have done a study on it, and of course there's people that say that you're not in the land, so you're not able to do so. But let's go to Leviticus 23. Okay, and let me show you what it says there about this. And while we're waiting, I have a little time here to share some of this truth with you all. So first we're going to do what is required of Shabuot, since that's what we're dealing with today. Okay, so let me see here. You know what? Maybe we need to go up to my office. Let's go up to the office, shall we? And then we'll come back. Let's see, it's been a little over 10 minutes. Yeah, let's go up to the office because I have my arm over there. Okay, let's do this. Doggies, you guys come in or you guys staying? You guys coming with me? Yeah? No, we're not going there. We're going upstairs. Come on. Let's go upstairs. You guys coming? Yeah? You guys can stay down if you want. Okay. Alrighty. Let me change the cradle here. Turn on my light. Take this out. Put this over here. Okay. Thank you, Miss Singh. Okay. Alrighty. Let me do this here. Okay. So, first of all, before I answer about what shall come asked if we do the feast days and then turn around and say, yeah, but if we're not in the land, how can you do it? That is a question I've dealt with many times, and scripture does say that we are to do it, but we'll get to that. If you're sticking around, I'll share it with you. First, we're going to do Leviticus 23 so I can share why we need to keep this, also known as the Feast of Shabuot or Pentecost. And yes, I'm very familiar with Deuteronomy 12 and 16 and why people use that without understanding that we are, according to the Messiah, not according to man, according to the Creator himself, the Messiah, the one and only, talked about how in the last days what we're to do and how we're to keep it. Many people miss that teaching because they already have preconceived ideas and notions of what they want to believe and not follow the commandments as it has been written. Okay. So let's deal with what we have here. Let me zoom in on this. So this is about Shabuat, also known as Pentecost. And then shall come, if you can hold off and slow your horse, I can show you what it says, okay? But if not, and if you just want to continue to say what you believe and not allow me to show you what is being spoken of in scripture, then I guess we won't be able to share with you what it says. But if you're here because you already have in your mind that you're not supposed to keep it, then there's other channels where you can find where you can do exactly that. But here we're keeping the commandments and the statutes and the instructions that's been given to us. All right, so it says here, Leviticus 23, verse 15, and from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, you shall count for yourself 7 completed Sabbaths. Until the morrow, or until the day after the 7th Sabbath, you count 50 days, or it shall be the 50th day. Some people think that you're supposed to count after the 7th Sabbath, and then you start counting 50 days. That's not what it's saying. This is, again, the translation makes all the difference. Until the morrow, or the day after the 7th Sabbath, you count 50 days. That 50th day, because if you do 7 times 7, every Sabbath is at the end of the 7 days, and you're doing 7 completed Sabbaths, so that'd be 7 times 7, that would be 49. The next day, the day after the 7th Sabbath, would be the 50th day. Okay? Then you shall bring a new grain offering to Yahuwah. Bring from your dwellings for a wave offering 2 loaves of bread. This is why we were doing what we were doing downstairs, just to show you how you are able to make bread and bake it yourself. And you're going to want to make sure that the bread is of 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour. They are baked with leaven, first fruits to Yahuwah. So 2/10 of an ephah, if you convert it into English measurements of dry measure, it comes out to 8 cups of flour. Hence, so each loaf is going to be 4 cups of flour, 8 cups in all. Okay, so it would come out to 2 breads, or 2 loaves of bread. And then it talks about how besides the bread, you shall bring 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones, and 1 young bull and 2 rams. They are an ascending offering to Yahuwah, with their grain offering and their drink offerings, an offering made by fire for a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. Verse 18, we do not do, because we no longer officiate before an altar at the temple. So we know that this has been done away with. The Messiah was our sacrifice. So all the sacrificial laws, we do not do. Okay? We do not do the sacrificial laws. And you shall offer a male goat as a sin offering, and 2 lambs a year old as a slaughter of peace offering. Again, verse 19, we don't do this either. And the priest shall wave them beside the bread of the first fruits as a wave offering before Yahuwah, besides the 2 lambs. They are set apart to Yahuwah for the priest. Okay, so verses 18, 19, and 20, we do not do. What we do is verse 21. And on this same day you shall proclaim a set apart gathering for yourselves. You do no servile work on it. A law forever shall come. Listen to this. Okay, listen to this part right here. You do not do no servile work on it. A law forever in all your dwellings. That is, in your dwelling where you live throughout your generation. You are to keep this feast, my friend. Okay, shall come. You probably don't want to accept it, but right here it's telling you, you are to keep this in your dwelling. You don't need a temple to do this. This means wherever you live, you are to keep it in all your dwellings throughout your generations. This is forever. It's a forever law, a law forever. Okay, but I'm sure you probably don't want to accept that. But I'm going to show you something in the New Testament that's going to blow your wig back if you will accept it. Verse 22. And when you reap of the harvest of your land, do not completely reap the corners of your field when you reap. All right. And do not gather any gleaning from your harvest. Leave them for the poor and for the stranger. I am Yahuwah your Elohim. Again, shall come. You want to look at it again, talking about the Strong's Concordance. It's so funny how people will use the Strong's Concordance and say, when you show them, well, this is his name. And then you tell them that, well, Strong's got it wrong. James Strong says Jehovah, and we know it's not Jehovah because the letter J just came out 500 years ago. So are we going to take James Strong as book? No, you got to use some discernment, don't you, shall come? Exactly. So it's the same thing with forever in all your generations. You see, you're no different than the person who says that they don't want to follow the law because you can't keep the law. There's too many laws to keep. Same argument. But let me show you something. All right. Let's see. You say, please remind me how to count the days for the correct day of Feast of Weeks. So again, this is why we have the calendar beads. The calendar beads and the calendar PDF both will show you that you counted after the seventh Sabbath. Okay. So when you use the calendar beads, you can go backwards from this day right here, and you can just start counting backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Okay, this is the Shabbat. The day after that Shabbat, you start your count. And you count 50 days. That's going to bring you to Shabuat. 50 days. That's 7 completed Sabbath. So you don't count the Sabbath. You start here. There goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Sabbath. And the very next day is your 50th day. That is your Feast of Weeks. Okay? That's how you count. Okay, Wana? All right, now, for the gentleman who wants to, or might even be, I don't know if you're a gentleman or a woman, I don't know. You're never going to figure out the calendar. Jehovah took it away according to Jubilee 6. Wow, this person is just all about argument. You know what? I'm not even going to waste time talking to you. You're not trying to know truth. You're not even trying to figure out. He has shown us the calendar, my friend. I didn't know the calendar up until about a year ago. I was keeping all the other calendars, but you know what? We are in the time of the awakening. And I'll say this, and I'm going to leave it at that. For those who have ears to hear, may you hear what the Spirit is saying, just like how he's opening up the eyes of true Yasharal, who are the true Israelites. How they are now to come back because Yahuwah was not done with the true Israelites. And so now their eyes are opening up. Just like with the Gentiles who are now been grafted in, they are now become part of the true Israelites. And we know that we're to keep the commandments, the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. If you love me, keep my commandments. Do you know why we went out into this dispersion? Because of disobedience. And you want to keep on being disobedient because you say we're not in the land, so we can't keep the feast days. Well, why don't you ask what it says there and go read for yourself John chapter 4, when the Messiah spoke to the woman at the well and what he said to that woman. Why don't you go and do that? And you'll find out if we're to keep these feast days or not. Okay? And we'll just leave it at that. Okay, but for the rest of you, Mishpaka, because you guys are here to hear the truth and not get tossed to and fro like this person is, be it a man or a woman, I don't know who or he or she is, but they can go ahead and continue to believe that they're not to keep the feast. So when they stand before Yahuwah and he wants to, or she wants to call him Jehovah or Yahweh or whatever other name they want to use without wanting to look into this, those of us who know the truth, we know his name is Yahuwah. His people are called by his name, which is Yahudah. The only difference between Yahuwah and Yahudah is the letter D in the language known as Abrit or Hebrew. So, I'm not going to split hairs with a person that doesn't want to listen. You come here to this channel and you ask me the question, do you keep the feast days? I answered your question. I said yes. And then you want to turn it around and said, well, you can't because you're not in the land. Why don't you go to those people who believe that? Because there's many of them out there, and I don't go and talk to them about why they believe they shouldn't keep it. A lot of the people with Straight as the Gate, I don't know if you're with straightasthegate.net, and those people and how they feel, they're all straight as wrong, even though they think they're on the straight and narrow. Yahuwah revealed to them that they are the ones that are leading people astray. So if you're with Straight as the Gate, I suggest you get out of that gate and you get on the right gate. Can you please go over more time when we go to fast? Can you please show me one more time you did go to fast for me? You did go to fast. Victoria, I don't know what you're asking there. I'm sorry, Mishpah. Can you please, you said it twice. I don't know what, can you rephrase your question? Or your comment, I should say. And then we're going to go down. Did I hear you correctly? We're not supposed to work on Shabuat. Blanca, the scripture says we're not to work on Shabuat. Yes. For those of you who don't have the true calendar PDF, please look into our link tree, or you can DM me and I'll send it to you. To DM fast explaining. I still don't know what that means. Victoria, I don't know what you're saying. There's something about the fast. Fast explaining the true calendar of 50 days. Of the 50 days. Yes, anyone who wants it, please go to our link tree. And you'll find there on the very first page, you'll see where it talks about the calendar PDF. We have it in 2 different languages, thanks to our Cody Jackie C. We have it in English and in Spanish. Brother Jimmy, question. Do you have a tech person who helps you? I thought you said so. I had an idea. Akodi Miss Singh, yes, that would be our Akodi Natzareth. Where did you get the calendar beads? The calendar beads are available. Just DM me and we'll be sending out another batch of calendar beads. They are $20 if you live here in the United States. They are $40 if you live outside the United States. Wheat offering and no work day. So again, with the calendar beads counting to the 50. So this would be the Shabbat here. This is the Feast of First Fruits. You would start counting, and this is why I went backwards so you can see how to count. You start counting after this Sabbath, okay? So when you go here to Leviticus 23, it says here, and from the morrow after the Sabbath, that would be this one here, this Sabbath right here, okay? On this particular bead, all the Sabbaths are white. All the gold ones are high days. All the blue ones are regular days. Okay, so it says, and from the morrow, or that is to say, from the day after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, which is this day right here, the first fruits, you shall count for yourself 7 completed Sabbaths. Okay, so 7 completed Sabbaths from that point. you would start counting. There's the first Sabbath down here. That's 1. There's 2 Sabbaths. There's 3 Sabbaths. 4, 5, 6, 7th Sabbath. And then it says, until the day or the morrow after the 7th Sabbath, which is this one right here, you count 50 days. That would be the 50th day, because 7 times 7 Sabbaths is 49. This right here, this gold bead here, would be the 50th day. So this Shabbat that we're getting ready to have this coming week is going to be the 7th Sabbath. The day after the 7th Sabbath is going to be the Feast of Weeks, or the Feast of Shabuat, also known as the Feast of Pentecost. Right here, that is when the law was given. That is when the Ruach HaKodesh came down upon the 120 Talmudim, the disciples. Okay? Let's see, so 44, let's say 45. 45, okay, so it's been 30 minutes. Let's go down and look at this bread. Let's go down and look at this bread. Yes, thank you. It has been a little over 30 minutes. Let's go check it out. Let me bring this down with me in case I need to use it. Can't live without my sword. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Huh, Sheba? What up, Onyx? Come on. All right. What's up, baby girl? Okay. Let's check it out. Oh, yeah. It's ready. It's time. Okay, so let me go ahead and start the stove. Oh, I forgot my tripod. Hold on one second, you guys. Did we empty this out? Yes, it is ready to go. All right. Bake. Let's see. Start. Bake. 400. Preheat. Okay. So we're getting ready to start cooking. Let me see. This part came off of here. Hold on one second, you guys. I gotta put this on here. All right. Okay. So as you can see, the bread has lifted above the thing. So it's probably going to blow up over the sides because I wasn't here to watch this. But that's okay. It's just to show you, excuse me, that I, being a novice, am able to do this. You can do it too. Yes, so 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Set oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. All right. Now, if I would have rolled this up properly, you wouldn't see all these creases, but that's okay. It gives it character. It lets you know this is my bread. Okay. But yes, she is ready. So I'm going to just take this over here. Set it here, place it. And once this is ready to go, we are going to put that in the center rack and let it cook no more than 40 minutes. All right. And this here. Oh, you braid yours. You do the, what do they call it? The kala? Kala? See, you guys fancy, huh? I can't braid. It's set apart bread in its own. Yes, it is, Cody Shelby. Nice to see you. Okay, Uncle Jimmy, I definitely need to get a screenshot of the recipe. Here you go. Yes, kala. How would braiding change baking time? You know what, Missing? I don't know. You might have to ask that to Akodi Stella. Akodi Stella is more why not 48-hour fermenting? Yazdani, are you saying 48 hours? You're welcome. How long do you bake it? You bake it for no more than 40 minutes. You're welcome, Belinda. So I'm just waiting for it to get to temp, and then we're going to throw it in there. Yes, to make sourdough. Okay, sourdough bread is, well, we're not making sourdough bread. And if I was to keep that out for 48 hours to ferment and rise, that thing would be huge. Yes, you can still do the feast. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let me get a drink of water. Can you share the recipe for the challah bread? You would have to move out if you did 48 hours. Yeah, that thing would be, I'll be stuck to the walls. Joanna, how do you spell Shabuot? Is that what you're saying? Shabuot is spelled in the from the Hebrew to the English would be Shabuat. SHAB as in the letter boy, no V. I know there's people that spell it with a V, but the letter V, there is no V in the Hebrew language. UAT. And some people spell instead of using the A, they use a O. There is no O in the letter in the Hebrew language either. You're welcome. Shabuat. Shabuot, but it's spelled Shabuat. Shabuat. Let me write this here. SHABUAT. Shabuat. Vibe Master, are you Filipino or a Filipina? Panay Panoy? Oh, you are. Okay. Great. You also know we have another Aki, Young Warrior 144. He's he's Panoy. Prayer Warrior, what do you do afterwards? Is that you remove it out of the pan, and when you have two of them, you're going to raise them above you. You're going to take them out of your house, out of your dwelling. Okay, let me show you that here. Let's go back to Leviticus 23. We have our instructions there, what Yahuwah tells us to do. And he says here, verse 17, Leviticus 23:17, it says, bring from your dwelling, so you bring it out of your house for a wave offering, 2 loaves of bread. Okay, so you would take the 2 loaves of bread, take it out of your house. I would do it in my backyard. This year we're going to be down there in Phoenix, Arizona with the Mishpachah there, and we're going to take it out of the house where we're at, in the daytime, not in the evening, but in the daytime when the sun is out. And we are going to wave it before Yahuwah, giving him praise. Each person in the house should take their turn doing it before Yahuwah as a wave offering to him. Okay? And then after that, bring it back in the house and slice it up and eat it. And if you don't like to eat it, give it to the homeless, give it to someone, but don't just throw it away. Don't throw it away. It has been out of your dwellings. Verse 18 we don't do. Verse 19 we don't do. And verse 20 we don't do, because this has to do with the sacrificial laws. We know that the sacrificial laws have been put to a halt until Yahuwah comes and dwells amongst us, and then we do it, because we will have an altar once again, and we'll be able to officiate all of that before his altar. But we do verse 21. Okay, so my oven has just now alerted me that it is up to 400 degrees, and now we are going to put it in the oven. Oh yeah. Okay, hold on one second, Mishpaka. All right. And I'm gonna put it right there, like so. Close it. And I am gonna put on the timer. Let me see if I hold it. There we go. I'm gonna do it 35 and come back and look at it. Okay, there we go. And it's that simple. Simple like a pimple. All right. What if I am poor, unable to cook that? Again, Yahusha wins. No worries. You just do this. I'm going to be live that day. You can do verse 21. On this same day, you shall proclaim a set apart gathering for yourselves. You shall do no servile work on it. So you treat it like a Shabbat. No work. Okay. A law forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. Okay. You thought I was in my car. Boy, I got a big car with everything in it. A kitchen, an island. Yeah. So yes, I will be on for Shabuat. I will be down in Phoenix, Arizona, Yahuwah willing. And we'll be down there with the Mishpachah down there. And we will go live so that you all, wherever you dwell, can come together with us as a set-apart gathering before Yahuwah. So you will be able to perform verse 22. Or not verse 22. Verse 21. We do verses 15 to 17 and 21. Yes. That is correct, decree. Yeah, that's what I would do, prayer warrior. Yeah. Or if you have a balcony, I would suggest that you, if you're able to leave out of the building and do it, that would be better. You want sky. You want just you before Yahuwah looking up into the Shamayim. Yes, we do bake the bread, Joanna, just like I'm doing right now. And I'm only doing this so that you guys can see how easy it is, how simple it is to do. No work, but we have to bake, so it's okay to cook correct. Yes, exactly, lovely Lisa. It is, and that's a great question. So it is not like your weekly Shabbat where you cannot start a fire and to cook, right? Because on Shabbat, we are to prep the day before. And so you don't cook at all on the Shabbat. And so this is why you can't do it on Shabbat, which Shabbat is actually the day before the Feast of Weeks. So you have to bake the bread on Feast of Weeks. It's going to be fresh bread. It's going to be fresh out of the oven. It will actually, Nilda, it's still going to be, because Arizona does not do the daylight savings time. So during the summer, the whole West Coast, including Arizona, will be on the same time zone. But Utah and New Mexico and Colorado and all the way up north, they're going to still be on Mountain Time Zone. They'll be an hour ahead, but not in Arizona. Yes, same day, bake it early in the morning if you can. And exactly what Cody Stella said, make sure you go and buy your ingredients before the Shabbat. Make sure you already have it together. Don't wait until Shabbat and then say, oh, I forgot this ingredient, right? I mean, I guess you can go out and get it on the day of, but you shouldn't, because again, you treat it like a Shabbat. You don't go out and because you're not working that day. So everybody else isn't supposed to be working, even though they don't observe it. You know they're supposed to observe it, so you don't go and do any commerce on any of the rest days. Cree, it is going to be on this day next week, this same day of the pagan day called Moon Day. Victoria, the Feast of Weeks is called Shabuat. It's the same day. Feast of Weeks is Shabuat. Yes, Miss Singh, next Moon Day. Shabbat and Shabuat is two different, okay? Shabbat is your weekly Sabbath. Shabuat is plural for Shabua, which we say is Shabbat. Cree, the real Sabbath is on what we call today Sunday. Victoria, you are to use wheat flour, and you do it on the day of Shabuat, also known as the Feast of Weeks. So for the next year, which we've already started this year since the spring equinox, Shabbat is going to be every Sunday until the next spring equinox. And then the next spring equinox is going to change to the pagan day, Monday, because again, we look at it as changing, but it's not changing. What has happened is that the calendar that we use is a dead calendar. The calendar doesn't move. It doesn't move with the sun, moon, and the stars. Everything that the Creator makes moves. It doesn't sit stagnant. Even his calendar moves because it is connected to the sun, the moon, and the stars. So this dead calendar that we follow, which belongs to the Catholics given us a dead calendar called the Gregorian calendar. And the Gregorian calendar does not move its days of the week because it's not connected to the sun. But we're told in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, that the sun, the moon, and the stars were created for the purpose of keeping times, days, and seasons and years, and for signs. But the weekly cycle that we follow, that the whole world follows, that has come to what we know today as the Gregorian calendar, is a dead calendar. It's a calendar that does not move according to the sun, moon, and the stars. That's why they have to continue to fix their dates. If you follow the sun, moon, and the stars, you're just going along with the sun, moon, and the stars. So you're always in connection with those orbs in the sky. But if you're not following that, you got to make corrections. You're very welcome, Sister Cortez. You're very welcome. Let me grab. Let me see where. Oh, hold on one second, you guys. I got to put this down. I got to get my charger. Oh, guys, I got to get my charger. There is the charger. Okay. You guys are all very welcome. People outside are gonna think you lost your marbles. Why are they gonna think that, Akodi? Akodi Miss Singh. You're very welcome, Akodi Victoria. Let's see. So again, just so nobody thinks that we are not to keep these days, let me show you here. Now that we got that disturber out of here, because that person wasn't really trying to learn. If they were really wanting to learn, they would have stuck around. And so let me show you what it says here. We're in the book of Yohanan, aka John. Okay. To give you a little backdrop of what we're getting ready to read, this is the woman at the well when the Messiah had asked her for a drink of water. Okay. And notice what he says to this woman. So let's go down here. Verse 20, chapter 4, verse 20. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, but you people, talking about the Yahudim, the Jews, say that in Jerusalem or Jerusalem is the place where one needs to worship. Notice the word worship. She used, and I want you to pay close attention to this word. You're going to see it and hear it many times in this passage. Again, our fathers worshipped on this mountain, but you people, the Jews, who she is inferring about, say that in Jerusalem is the place where one needs to worship. Notice what Yahusha says. Yahusha said to her, "Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you shall neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem worship," there's that word again, "the Father. You worship what you do not know. We," meaning the Jews, the true Jews, "worship what we do know, because the deliverance or salvation is of the Yahudim," which is the Jews. He continues, "But the hour is coming, and now is." Notice he says, "But the hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshipers," now he's using the word worshipers, those who worship, "shall worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father also does such seek to worship him. Elohim is spirit, and those who worship him need to worship in spirit and truth." So now the question is, when a person like the person who came in here earlier talking about, well, you can't keep the feast days because you're not in the land. But wait a minute, what did he just say here? He says, "Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you shall neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem," which is Mount Zion in Jerusalem, "worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know, because deliverance or salvation is of the Yahudim. But the hour is coming, and now is." He's saying it's about to go down. And in fact, it's happening right now as I'm speaking to you, lady, "when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father also does such seek to worship him." So what is he saying? Because he knew that the temple was going to be destroyed. Remember what he told his disciples in Matthew chapter 24? Let me take you there. Matthew 24, he says this. They asked him a question, but he said this first. Matthew 24, Verse 1, and going out, Yahusha went away from the set apart place, that is the temple, the Hakal, and his taught ones came near to point out to him the buildings of the set apart place. And Yahusha said to them, do you not see all these? Truly, I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another at all, which shall not be thrown down. He was talking about the destruction of the temple. So remember what he said to the woman at the well. He says, woman, I tell you the truth. No longer on this mountain nor in Jerusalem shall you worship. He said, the hour is coming and now is where you will not worship here. Why was he saying that? Because he already foreknew what was going to happen to the temple. Well, when was it that this actually happened? Let me show you. Remember when he was unalived on our behalf. And it says here in Matthew chapter 27, and Yahusha cried out again with a loud voice and gave up his ruach, his spirit. And it says, see, the veil, that is the curtain of the dwelling place, was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth was shaken, and the rocks were split. What happened on this day? When he gave up his spirit, the Ruach HaKadosh that sat upon the mercy seat, the ark of the agreement, the ark of the contract, left the building. From that day forward, that temple was a dead temple. The Ruach HaKadosh, the set-apart spirit, no longer dwelt in the temples made by the hands of man. And this is why we are told that he would no longer accept worship from the temple. This is what he was telling the woman. But the hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and truth, for the Father also does seek such to worship him. Because again, he knew that his spirit would no longer be on the mercy seat. He would leave the Most High place. The Extians call it the Holy of Holies. His presence was gone off of that box called the Ark of the Covenant. And so what happened in Acts chapter 2, which we're getting ready to celebrate, and when the day of the festival of Shabuat had come, they were all with one mind in one place, and suddenly there came a sound from Shammah, from heaven, as a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared to them divided tongues of fire, and settled on each one of them. And they were all filled with the set-apart Spirit, and began to speak with other tongues or other languages, as the Spirit gave them to speak. This is when the set-apart Spirit that used to sit on the Ark of the Agreement on the mercy seat now dwells in the hearts of men. This is why we see in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16, the Apostle Shaul says, do you not know that you are the dwelling place? You are the temple of Elohim, and that the Spirit of Elohim dwells in you? If anyone destroys the dwelling place of Elohim, Elohim shall destroy them. For the dwelling place of Elohim is set apart, which you are. So let's put it all together. This doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. You are the place. You are where he decided to put his name. He has written his name upon your forehead. You are his temple. So how can someone say, well, you're not in the land where he decided to place his name? Because you are that temple now. This is why the Messiah says that the day is coming when you shall neither on this mountain or the mountain in Jerusalem worship the Father. For he wishes for all of us to worship him in spirit and in truth, for such is Elohim. He is spirit, and he wants those who worship him to worship him in spirit and in truth, which means wherever you are carrying the Ruach in your vessel, in your temple. So now you are to keep these feast days. Wherever you are, in your captivity, in prison, wherever you may find yourself, in Jerusalem, it doesn't matter, because he is with you. He is no longer dwelling in the temple that is made by the hands of man. And if you can understand this spiritual understanding, you will know that it is now. This is that moment. This is why he says, I will not leave you as orphans. I will manifest myself to you. That's what he said in John chapter 14. And for those of you who have been subscribed to me, you know this passage very well. Notice what he says here. Again, this was all a foreshadow. He was letting them know, you are not going to have this temple anymore. He just told them that the temple was going to be destroyed. Not one stone shall be left upon another that shall not be thrown down. And so he says here in John chapter 14, if you love me, verse 15, you shall guard my commands. You shall keep my commandments. What part of that is so difficult? If he tells you you are to keep these feast days, why are you not going to keep the feast days? Because you're not in the land? Because you're stuck in your understanding of physicality instead of spirituality? He says, and I shall ask the Father, and he shall give you another helper, which we know who that is, to stay with you forever. And that person that was in here saying, yeah, well, go look up the word forever. He's trying to say it doesn't mean forever. It means exactly what it means. You want to change it, just like everybody else. You want to twist the words to your own understanding and your own liking, because you do just as your fathers have done, who is Satan. Changes all the words, twists all the scriptures. And that's what he does, because he's a father of lies, and he's been like that since the beginning. But we know who the helper is. It's the Spirit of the truth, whom the world is unable to receive because it does not see him or know him. But you know him, for he stays with you and shall be in you. That's what makes you the temple, because he is now in you. He is not sitting on the mercy seat in the Most High place anymore. You are the Most High place. You are the temple of Elohim. And if you do not take care of that vessel which you are dwelling in, this is why you got to be careful what you allow into your eyes, what you allow into your ears, and what you put into your mouth. Yes, you must be careful what you put into your mouth that you consider food, because he told you what food is, but you have a whole new definition, like a whole bunch of Christians like to do. And they say, oh, we can eat anything now. We can eat swine. We can eat crabs. We can eat lobster. We can eat all these things because Elohim has given it to us for food. No, he didn't. He told you what food is. A poisonous frog is not food, but go ahead and eat that poisonous frog and it'll be the last frog you ever eat. And he says, and I shall not leave you orphans. I am coming to you, and yet a little while, and the world no longer sees me. But you shall see me, because I live, and you shall live. In that day you shall know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. He who possesses, or he who has my commandments and keeps them, it is he or she who loves me. So how can you say we're not supposed to keep these feast days? And he who loves me shall be loved by my Father, and I shall love him and manifest myself to them. So again, it's very clear that you are to keep these days. The only thing we don't do is we do not do the sacrifices. That's what's been done away with. And it's only temporary. What does it say here in the book of Hebrews? Let me show you. Chapter 9. Let's start here. Oh, I got to start all the way from verse 1. Now the first agreement indeed had regulations of worship and earthly set-apart place. Notice this. For a tent, that is a tabernacle, was prepared, the first part in which was the lampstand, that's the menorah, and the table, and the showbread, which is called the set-apart place, that is the Most High place. And after the second veil, the part of the tent, which is called the most set-apart, to which belonged the golden censer and the ark of the agreement, overlaid on the sides with gold, in which were the golden pot that held the manna, and the rod of Aaron that budded, and the tablets of the agreement, that is the marriage vows. And above it, the cherubim of esteem were overshadowing the place of the atonement, about which we do not now speak in detail. So it's not going into detail about what all this represents, but he wants to stay on point. And these having been prepared like this, the priest always went into the first part of the tent, accomplishing the services. That is the ordinances that was to be officiated before the Ark of the Agreement. But into the second part, that is the most high place, the high priest went alone once a year. We know what that once a year is. That's the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim. Not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the sins or the transgression of the ignorance of the people. The set apart spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, signifying this, that the way into the most set apart place was not yet made manifest while the first tent has a standing. The first tent had a standing. It was still erected, which was a parable, a foreshadow for the present time in which both gifts and slaughters are offered, which are unable to perfect the one serving as to his conscience. So again, we know that those sacrificial laws could not make us perfect. That in itself had a lot to do with the law being our tutor. They were a foreshadow of things to come until the Messiah came, so he could show us what he was, what it was about, and how we were to walk this out. And so it says, only as to foods and drinks, different washings and fleshly regulations imposed until the time of the setting matters straight. But the Messiah, having become a high priest of the coming better matters, or the great matters, through the greater and more perfect tent, not made with hands. You see that? A tabernacle, a temple not made with hands, that is not of this creation, entered into the most set apart place once for all, not with the blood of goats and calves, but with his own blood, having obtained everlasting redemption. For if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer sprinkle the defiled set apart for the cleansing of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of the Messiah, who through the everlasting Spirit, the Ruach, offered himself unblemished to Elohim the Mighty One, cleanse your conscience from dead works to serve the living Elohim. And because of this, he is the mediator of the renewed agreement, the renewed contract, the renewed marriage vows, so that death having taken place for redemption of the transgressions under the first agreement, those who are called might receive the promise of everlasting inheritance. For where the agreement is, over those dead is firm, since it is never valid while the agreeer, the agreed one, is living. Therefore, not even the first agreement was instituted without blood. For when, according to the law, that is the Torah, every commandment or every command had been spoken by Moses, to all the people, that is to the children of Yasharal, he took the blood of the calves and goats with water and scarlet wool and hyssop and sprinkled both the book itself and all the people. Why would he sprinkle the book? Why would he sprinkle actually the scroll? Because the scroll was the law, saying, this is the blood of the agreement, which Elohim commanded you, making the agreement firm. He would sprinkle it on the scroll, which was the agreement letters, stating that this is what Yahuwah was going to do, and then this is what the people were going to do. You are now under this bond. You are under this contract. You are under the obligation to do what this scroll says you are to do as the one who is married to the husband. And so it goes on and says, and in the same way he sprinkled with blood both the tent and all the vessels of the service. And according to the law, according to the Torah, the instructions, almost all is cleansed with blood. And without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness. It is necessary then that the copies, notice it says the copies, not the originals, it is a copy of the heavenly ones, should be cleansed with these, but the heavenly ones themselves with better slaughter offerings than these. For the Messiah has not entered into the set apart place made by hand, figures of the true, but into Shama itself, into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of Elohim the Mighty One, on our behalf. Not that he should offer himself often, as the high priest enters into the set apart place year by year with the blood not his own. That year by year we know as the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim. For if so, he would have had to suffer often, meaning he would have to do it every year since the foundation of the world. But now he has appeared once for all at the end of the ages to put away transgression by the offering of himself. This is why we do not do any of the sacrificial laws, because he did it once and for all. It was done, completed. That's what he meant when he said on the tree, it is finished. He accomplished what the blood of lambs, bulls, and goats and heifers could not do. He did it once and for all, presenting himself as that ultimate sacrifice. And so it says, and as it awaits men to die once, and after this, the judgment, so also the Messiah, having been offered once to bear the transgressions of many, shall appear a second time. That's his second coming, apart from transgression, to those waiting for him. We are to be waiting for him unto deliverance, that is salvation. And so you see I have here 1 Corinthians 1:7. Let's look at that. 1 Corinthians 1:7. Notice what it says. So that you are not lacking in any gift, eagerly waiting for the revelation, the unveiling of our Master Yahushua the Messiah, who shall also confirm you to the end, unreprovable in the day of our Master Yahushua the Messiah. And so this is why we are to continue to keep the feast. Just like he says, Shaul, who was a Pharisee of Pharisees, and he's saying this to the assembly in Corinth. If you know how far Corinth is from, sorry about that. If you know how far the city or the area called Corinth was from Jerusalem, you know what he's saying here in chapter 5, verse 7. Makes a lot of sense, and you'll see that he was telling them, you need to keep this. Therefore, cleanse out the old leaven, so that you are a new lump, as you are unleavened. Again, speaking of spiritual matters. You are a new lump. You are unleavened bread. You have no boastfulness. You have no pride in you anymore. For also the Messiah, our Pesach, our Passover, was slaughtered for us. He was our offering for us. So then, let us celebrate the festival, not with old leaven, nor with the leaven of evil and wickedness or malice, but with unleavened bread of sincerity and in truth. What did the Messiah say to the woman at the well? Yahuwah wishes us to worship him in spirit and in truth. For he seeks such to worship him, for Elohim is spirit. So he wants us to worship him in spirit and in truth. This is why the Messiah says, you don't have to physically commit adultery with a woman. Just the thought of it, you have already done it in your heart. He's taken it down to the spirit. But there's so many people who are stuck on the surface with earthly, fleshly, physical ways that they can't understand to break that barrier, to go deeper into the scriptures, to see that there is a spiritual application to all that the Messiah has said to us. And this is what makes you different than the person who cannot go into that depth. You are to have the understanding of the spiritual application when the Messiah is talking to you about what is to come and who you are as his person. You are to worship him in spirit and in truth, not in physical and in truth, but in spirit and in truth, because we are spirit beings that will have a physical celestial spirit body. I hope that makes sense to all of you. I got 3 minutes. I have the timer on. It'll be beeping here in just a minute. Let me check this. Aki Al says, check the bread. Oh, we about to check the bread, all right. We got 3 minutes. 3 minutos. Yes, you can take a screenshot. Here it is. By master, the circumcision is nothing. The only circumcision that matters is the circumcision of the heart. And it has been like that since the Old Testament. That again was a tutor. It was a schoolmaster teaching us. You can smell it? Oh yes, Nilda, it is delicious. It smells wonderful. Yep, circumcision is nothing. This is exactly what it says here in the book of Romaim. Let me show you. I got 2 more minutes until it starts to beeping. Romans chapter 2, verse 25. For circumcision indeed profits if you practice the law. But if you are a transgressor of the law, one who breaks the law, your circumcision has become uncircumcision. So, if an uncircumcised one watches over the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be reckoned as circumcision? That means those who are uncircumcised, who are keeping or reckoning the law, they are, because again it says here, so if the uncircumcised one watches over the righteousnesses of the law, meaning that he is doing the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted as circumcision? And the uncircumcised by nature, who perfects the law, shall judge you, who notwithstanding letter and circumcision are a transgressor of the law, one who is transgressing the law. It doesn't matter that you are circumcised. It doesn't mean nothing. So this is why he says, for he is not a Yahudi, a Jew, a true Jew, a true believer, who is so outwardly. Neither is circumcision that which is outward in the flesh, but a Yahudi is he who is so inwardly, again, spiritually, and circumcision is that of the heart, in spirit, not literally, whose praise is not from men, but from Elohim. Let's go check this out now. And it turns off the temp also. Let me go ahead and cancel this. That smells delicious. Look at that, huh? Okay, let me go ahead and pull this out. Let it cool off. Oh, yes. Look at that bread. Look at that bread. All right. Okay, Mishpaka. Yes, that's where it is, Cody Stella. Oh, yeah. It is nice. Can you hear that? Yes. Okay, so let me take my chopstick. Yeah, I'm going to poke right into the middle of it. Oh, yeah, she's done. Nothing came out sticky. No sticky ickies. That means it is done well. Okay, so we'll let that cool off before I take it out so you can all see it. Cut a piece, chew on it. Should I brush the top? Okay, let me brush the top. Should I brush it with butter? I'm going to have you guys tell me. What do you guys think? Should I brush it with butter, extra virgin olive oil, honey? What should I put on here? What do you guys think? What should I put on there? Butter, says Lisa. Everyone says butter and honey. You know what? Can't go wrong with butter and honey. Let's do it. Okay. Hold on, I gotta put this down. Melt, I gotta put this down again. Hold on 1 second. I didn't bring my tripod down here with me. I did not bring my tripod with me. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'll let you guys see this in a second. I'm just getting everything together, including the butter. Let me grab the butter. 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 Okay. Alright. Woohoo! Let me get a butter knife. There's the butter knife. Okay. Butter. Make sure it don't fall off, because it does look like it want to fall. I feel like I'm putting this over some flapjacks. Okay, now that I got that on there like this, hold on one second, you guys. Oh yeah, we're doing this up. Painting it like a painter, putting it in all the crevices. Oh yeah. Oh, you guys couldn't see, my bad. Okay, so that's the butter. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, now it's time for the honey. Hold on one second, you guys. I can't use this because I will be cross-contaminating it. Let me get an Asian spoon. This is an Asian spoon, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Hold on one second, you guys. There we go. I had it. Okay. I'm gonna put a little bit more. Oh boy, if you guys could only smell this. Oh yeah. Very nice. Very nicely done. Okay. Well, what do you guys think? Did Brother Jimmy do all right? This is my second bread I've ever made in my life. Second bread. Okay? Like I say, if I can do it, you guys can do it. Okay? If I can do it, you guys can do it. All right? It's not difficult at all. You can't be afraid to try it, you know? You gotta do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Okay. I don't know about all that. I don't know if I'm the best baker of the year. My Ashad just made those this morning. Look at that. Egg rolls, they're delicious. Can you add cinnamon in the ingredients to add more flavor before you bake it? Well, again, you know, when it comes to doing this as a festival day, I would say try to keep it according to what we see in scripture. It doesn't tell you that you can't put cinnamon in it and all of that. But again, it just talks about that you got to use fine flour, right? So that is the main ingredient. Of course, you can't make bread without flour, but we know that we're not supposed to use bleached flour. So that much I can say, it's got to be whole wheat. Okay, so if you want to add something else to it, that's on you. But I personally, I'm going to stick to what we're told. I'm not going to add to that. Again, that is not to say when you want to make some bread that is not during Shabuat, yeah, add yourself some cinnamon, you're doing what you're doing, Okay, I just had to check this email real quick. It from Molly Maid. I had to use Molly Maid for one of the properties that I do work on. Sorry about that, you guys. Let me clear all this up here. I got so much notifications on my phone. Okay. So yes, now I'm gonna put you guys down because I want to get this out of the bread pan, and we're gonna take a taste test. Hold on one second. Let me put this down here for a second, you guys. In fact, I got a little kickstand here on my phone, so let me do that. Okay. Let me get the cutting board out. Okay, put this over here. Alrighty, and in here. Those things are way too big in there. Oh my. Interesting. Okay. Oh, it just came right out. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Woohoo. Okay, look, I just took it out all in one piece. Huh? You guys see that? Look at that. All in one piece. All right. Let me put these away. Put that there for now. Let me see. Where's my knife? There it is. Let me go get my kickstand. I need you guys to see this. Hold on. You guys are missing it. Okay. Hold on, you guys. Let me see here. Let me put my charge. I forgot to charge this earlier. It's down to 9%. Hold on. Okay, give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay, let me put you guys on my kickstand. Alrighty. Okay, everyone, we are back. Okay. Oh man, I gotta make one more text here. Hold on, you all. Let me see, how do I do Okay, so let's see how this thing worked out while we're waiting for people to come back in. Oh, yes. We'll give them all a second to get in. Okay. Just getting these things together. I'll be right there to cut that up so you all can see what we're dealing with. Okay. All right. Again, sorry for the interruption in the live. Okay. So let's pray over it and turn that one loaf into 5 so we all can have a slice. I like that. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Okay. Let's see what we're dealing with. Let's see how I did. Shall we? I know that's a big slice, but I just want to just see. Voila. Can you guys see it? Oh, it's still smoking. Let me pull it back. Let me pull the camera back so you guys can see. Yeah. Let me take a piece. Okay. I've had better, but for me, not bad. Oh yeah. Delicious. Now, of course, you can probably slather something on there for yourself, but it is delicious. It truly is. Now I got a phone call. Hold on one second, you guys. Hopefully I don't get disconnected. Let me see here. I don't know what that's about. Let me tell my Asha she needs to call me. Text me. You guys are still there. Beautiful. All right. But yes, it came out nice. It came out really nice. It is. It's like, But, it's pretty much that simple. I could try inkhorn. More butter than bread. When I taste the top, because that's the only part that has the butter and the honey. Delicious. Okay. So that's pretty much how you make the bread. And again, I'm a novice. And if I can do it, you guys can do it. And it doesn't take a lot of effort. You just got to try it and do it yourself. And you'll see that you can do it. This is not difficult. And you do it before Yahuwah. Again, we're learning, right? You're going to make mistakes trying to do this, but all of this is a shadow of things to come. The body is of the Messiah, okay? Make butter cinnamon honey spread. Oh yeah, Michelle, that sounds delicious. That's 3 words. Delicious, right? Very delicious though. Yeah. So anyhow, and I only wore gloves because I didn't want to touch the whole bread. But it is delicious. No joke. I mean, you know, once you make the bread, put whatever you want on it, right? It'll be tasty. I mean, it's tasty without it, but it is delicious. It is delicious. Okay. Well, Mishpachah, I want to thank you all for this time with me. Yes, especially warm. It is truly delicious. Lovely Lisa. It is really. And you know what? It's so different when I make, because this is the second time I've made it. So last year when I made it, it was just as dense because I'm not using egg and baking soda and some other stuff that some people do, and it makes it more fluffy. So this is like dense bread. I don't know if you can tell, but it is like, it's dense. It's heavy. Very delicious. But don't mean to be eating all in front of you guys. And it's, you know, when it's dense like that, it feels like it's more, not only is it healthy, but it's like it's filling. Yeah, it's heavy, Nilda. I need to go for a run. Yeah, it's definitely more filling. Yeah. So, I mean, the whole process took what? Less than 2 hours? Well, again, for those of you who know, we're going to be fasting starting the day after Shabuat next week. You guys might not have known this, but we had changed the fasting order. I don't have it in front of me, but we'll be starting what we were supposed to do today. We're going to start it next week after the Shabuat. Okay? So again, I want to thank all of you for being here. I hope that helped you guys know how easy it is to make it. And you can find a lot of this stuff, this information, on YouTube. And that's where I learned it from. I just opened up YouTube and I was like, you know what? I want to know how to make the easiest way to make whole wheat bread. And you guys saw it here today. There's the finished product. It was done right. Delicious. So let us pull. Heavenly Abba, we come before you in the mighty name of Yahushua, thanking you, O Yah, for allowing us to come together at this time. May we give you all the praise, honor, and esteem, and allowing us, O Abba, to come before you, sharing not only how to make bread for the day of Shabuat, but also your word, what we are to do, your instructions, and how we are to keep it, how we are to continue to do your feast days, O Abba, that you have shared with the woman at the well. No longer on that mountain or the one in Jerusalem are we to worship you, but wherever we are, because you now dwell in the hearts of men and women. And so we thank you, O Yah. We thank you for all your word. We thank you for opening our eyes. We thank you, O Yah, for giving us your true name once again so that we may be able to call upon you. All these things we ask and petition before you to take care of all of our mishpachah and their mishpachah, all the Akis and Akodis that are here, that are being represented, and those that are not. We thank you, O Abba, for just being you and dwelling amongst us and allowing us to live with you. We look forward to that day. We eagerly wait for the day that we can be with you. In the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Hallelujah. 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 Rumamu Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Okay, Mishpaka. So I will see you all, unless something happens on this Aratz, on this earth, that is important, or something breaking prophetically. Let me see, what is this on my phone? I think it's one of my eyelashes. Then I will be coming on. But if not, the next time I will be on the pagan day, Saturn's day. Okay? Excuse me, 1 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock Mountain, except for Arizona, 3 o'clock Central, and 4 o'clock Eastern. With all that being said, Yahuwah Baruch you, may he keep you, and may he allow his countenance of his light to shine upon each and every last one of you. Shalom, Mishpaka. My name is Brother Jimmy, aka Ambassadors of Yah, signing off. Shalom.